Here we are, part 4 on grade calculator lesson. We're starting at activity 15 here. So we set up this remove lowest grades function last time, and it doesn't do anything just yet. So that's what we're going to start doing right now. So we need to make sure the list is sorted to find the lowest grades, then we can remove them. So the delete command deletes list items inside a specified range of indexes. So we're going to go to lists here, and we're going to put in the sort list first. We may have sorted already, which we actually have done in the program, but there's no guarantee that that actually has been done when we do this function. So we go ahead and just do it anyway. So we're going to, instead of doing the my list, we're going to change it to a list of grades and leave it at the dot sort. And then you're going to get the delete index range, and you're going to change my list to list of grades. So right here, we'll just drag that on in there as well. Make sure, of course, that you tab over, and then you're going to change it to list of grades. And then that's all we really need to do for this particular activity. So when we hit run, this looks the same exact as we did before because we haven't actually printed anything yet. And so then it's actually coming up with a thing that says, did you change my list to list of grades after the delete? Which we did. So, kind of wondering then why it's indicating that it's not doing what it's supposed to. Oh, let's make sure here. We got to remove lowest 2. Alright. Delete list of grades. Oh. Sort list into remove lowest 2. Change my list to list of grades. And then delete range. Remove lowest 2. Delete list of grades. Okay. So we're running into an issue here. And it is not recognizing that I've actually done what it is that it's asked me to do. So we're going to do a couple of things. First of all, we're going to get rid of these passes because we don't need them anymore. And then to this. And we have a list of grades. Delete list of grades. Alright, let's try that. Still doesn't like that. Remove lowest 2. Delete list of grades. List of grades dot sort. Grades dot sort. Leave the 2 lowest 2. List of grades. Sort. Alright, we're gonna pause this. Okay, so I went through and looked at the answer key to this lesson and found out what it is that we were missing. And in fact, all the code was perfectly good. The only thing that I had failed to remove was the final pass. So right here, I had another pass in this for loop. And when we run with that, you can see it says, did you change my list to list of grades after delete, which I already have. But when you remove that pass, and we get rid of that code here, and then we run it again, it says good job. So in order to get this particular lesson passed off, lesson 15, you need to remove all of the passes that were in these different functions, because essentially they're not doing anything, but they're throwing off the way that Codesters is grading your activity. So get rid of all of the passes, all the rest of the code stays exactly the same, and then it will actually check off that everything is good to go. And so I went ahead and pushed go. I'm going to close out these other windows here, sorry, so that it stops giving me these errors. So hit submit. Oh, I guess I have to reload my page. It's getting thrown off because I opened another window. And we're in the wrong lesson. So now I have to go back. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Here we go. So we're on 15. It didn't save what it is that I did, so we're going to have to redo it again. So sorry you have to do it twice, but all we have to do is go in and delete this pass right here. And then when I hit run, it works correctly. So that's the only code you have to change. Everything else is still correct. The reason it's marking it wrong, as I said, it's just throwing off the way that Codesters is grading your stuff. So make sure that you get rid of those passes for that activity. So now we've got a debugging error. It's a logic error. It doesn't create an error message, but it's not doing what it should. So it deletes a range of indexes using the colon like this: my list, start index, end index. So what's happening is on here, it's red, blue, and yellow. And so you removed green. So fix the program by changing the thing. So it's red, blue, 54, green, and yellow, and we're only getting rid of 54. So fix the program by changing the range of indexes in delete to remove only 54 from the list. So in this case, we're going index 2 to 4. It doesn't remove the last one. So if we only want to remove one, then you have to get, you only have the range of 1. So in this case, blue, or 54, is 0, 1, 2. But we only want to go 2 to 3 instead of 2 to 4. Because when delete works, it does the index, it's the range of indexes, but it doesn't do the last one. So in this case, we don't want it to remove green, and so we rerun it, and we get red, blue, green, and yellow that are left. So if you only want to delete one thing, then you just have the range from the one that you want to delete to the next one, and it only deletes the one that you want to delete. So that's kind of how delete works. Okay, so go ahead and hit submit, and then we're going to the next activity. So with those grades removed, which we're doing 0 to 2, so that's removing index 0 and index 1, and it doesn't remove the index 2. Our average has changed. So in functions, we're going to drag a function call with parameter in the bottom of main, and we're going to rename the first function call to print grades, and the second to print average. So we're going to go to two function calls with parameters. So that would be under functions, and then function call with parameter, and we're doing it twice. So under remove last 2 grades, we're going to copy this, and we're also going to put some separation because it's a new activity that we're doing. And so the first one, we're doing print grades, which we then pass in grades. And the second one, we're going to make it print average. Print average. average. And instead of the myvar, we're going to make that grades as well. So now we can see what happens when we remove the lowest two, which were the 70 and the 78. The lowest one is the 81. So our list is 2 grades shorter, and our average goes up from 85 to 88. So go ahead and hit submit, and we go on to the next activity. Okay, so what luck. You can now improve 1 grade with extra credit homework assignment. So let's make a new function. It will require 3 parameters, a list of grades, the grade we will change, and our new grade. So we're going to set up a new function here, and we're going to define that function just as we've done with these other 3 functions that we've already made. So make sure that it starts all the way against the side. Instead of calling it my function, we're going to say remove lowest, two. Oh, we're putting it below remove lowest 2, sorry. And we're calling it change grade. There we go. And then we're going to add these as parameters. So we need to put then change grade, comma, change, and list of grades. And then we once again need a doc string to define what it is that this does. And we're going to say that this, it changes a specified grade. It changes a specified grade. Okay, and then we run the code, same as before, but since we've added the new function, even though the new function doesn't do anything, it still counts us as having completed the activity. So to change the grade, we need to find its index in the list. So we're going to go to list and get index of value. So under here, we want to get the index of value right here. Okay, and instead of myvar, we want it to be index. And instead of my list, it's going to be list of grades. And instead of the my param, it's going to be grade. So we just change this here to grade. And then we want to set the value at that index. So that's going to be further up here. Set value at index. And so instead of my list, it's now instead going to be a list of grades. And instead of the 0, we want it to be the index that we just set in the last line of code. And then the variable is instead going to be change, what our new value is going to be. And so then when we run this, once again, it still doesn't do anything because we haven't printed out anything, nor have we called this function in main. But we've set up the function, and we are prepared to go on to the next activity. So go ahead and we'll run it and hit submit and go on to the next activity. So we have another debugging error. It has an error. We're trying to change black to blue in the rainbow list. So let's debug it. Index returns the index of value in a list. So when we run it, the error message 4 is not in the list on line 3. So as you can see, change what's in the parentheses of index to get the index of the color we want to change. So in this case, we're changing black, and we want it to become blue. Well, the problem here is we start at 0, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it returns the index of a value in the list. So we're not going to ask for 4. We're going to actually look for black. So we need to put the actual value instead of putting the number. So when we do that, then it will return the number 4. and it will give us the number index that we need to change in order to get the blue. So you don't put the actual index value. You get the index value by giving it what you're looking for. So in this case, we're looking for black, and then it tells us that black is at 4, and then it puts the 4 here, changes the value that's stored in the 4 to blue, and then we can see the new rainbow list. So go ahead and hit submit. And we go on to the next one. We'll finish this final activity, and then that will be it for this particular video. This one went a little long because we ran into that problem at the beginning with the pass commands we had to delete. So let's apply the extra credit using the change grade and see how our average changes. So once again, we got rid of those passes before. So since we put some commands into grade change, we're going to get rid of this pass here because we don't need it anymore. And now what we're going to do is change the 83 to a 95. So we're going to push enter to go to the next section of our main here. We're going to call our function here, function call. So instead of my function, we're going to change it to change grade. And then we actually have to pass it some information. So 3 parameters we're giving it are 83, 95, and the list of grades. And then you're also going to print the average next. So we're going to just copy here, print average, and then copy that. And that will give us our new average after we change that grade. So when we hit play, you can see that we went from an 88 to a 90 because we changed the 83 instead to now being a 95, and that brings up the overall average of the grade. If you've stuck out to this point, this will get you a 3.2 on the assignment, and hopefully you can be able to figure out those last 5 or 6 or 6 or 7 things and get closer to a 3.9 for the overall lesson.